I walked through the front door, expecting the usual quiet. But instead, my family was sitting together on the couch like they had rehearsed a scene without me. My mother's smile looked too bright. My father's hands were folded too neatly, and my younger sister Haley had that little smirk she used whenever she felt superior. "Lena," my mother said, her voice trembling with excitement. "Sit down. We have wonderful news." I didn't sit. "What happened?" My father nodded at Haley, giving her the honor. She leaned forward, eyes shining. "We used almost all of your savings," she announced, "for something life-changing." The floor under me felt unsteady, but my voice came out steady. "My savings." Haley shrugged, like she was explaining a weather update. "Mom and Dad said you trusted them with everything, so we made the best decision for the family." "What decision?" I asked. My mother clasped her hands together as though she were delivering a blessing. "We put down an earnest deposit. A house. Lena. A real house. For Haley." My laughter came out before I could swallow it. A sharp, stunned sound, like air escaping a cracked glass. Haley frowned. "What's so funny? You should be grateful I'll finally have my own place." I stared at her. "You used the money I said was for utilities and rent. All of it." "Almost all," my father corrected, as if that softened anything. $12,500. It was the perfect opportunity. I kept laughing, not because it was funny, but because it was finally, painfully revealing. "You used that money for a house in Haley's name." "Yes," Haley said. "And before you start whining, there are only 3 bedrooms. You'll need to find somewhere else to go, but you will still cover the bills and the mortgage. You know, like you always do," my mother added softly. "You are almost 30. Lena, it is time to be independent." I pressed a hand to my mouth, trying to contain the sound ripping out of me. I had expected disappointment, anger, maybe even betrayal, but what I felt was clarity, cold and clean. They had just shown me who they were with no hesitation. Haley crossed her arms. "You are acting strange. Did you hear me? You do not have anything left, not 1 cent. I looked at them, every face I had supported for years, every person who had taken without a second thought. "I heard you." The room waited for me to fall apart. They expected fear, panic, desperation. Instead, I let out one last laugh, steady and full. "Good," I said. "This is exactly what I needed." Haley blinked. "Needed. What is that supposed to mean?" "It means," I said quietly, "that you all just helped me make an important decision." Their confusion thickened the air, and somewhere in that stunned silence, I felt the opening of a new chapter inside me. If you want to hear what happened next, stay with me. I promised myself I would finally tell this whole story, and I will not hold anything back. I stayed standing in the living room, the sting of their words still settling, and for a moment I saw us not as a family, but as 4 people trapped in roles I never agreed to play. My father cleared his throat. "Lena, you know how hard things have been. We all rely on you." Haley snorted. "Some of us more than others, but that is what older sisters are for." I turned to her. "Older sisters are not banks." She rolled her eyes. "You have always had money. You make more than enough. What else are you supposed to do with it?" My mother stepped between us, palms raised as if she were calming children, not causing half the chaos. "We appreciate what you do, Lena, truly. But Haley needs a future, a stable home. She is the younger one. She is the one who still has hope. And I do not." My voice was sharper than I expected. "You are strong," my mother said. "You always have been. You do not need as much." It was the same line I had heard since I was 16. Strong meant silent. Independent meant unacknowledged. Providing meant being invisible. My father added, "Your sister cannot take care of us the way you can. She needs your support. It is your duty to guide her." Haley smirked. "And now I finally have a place that matches what I deserve." I stared at her. "You do not even have a job. I am waiting for something worthy of me," she shot back. "Not everyone wants to rot in retail like you." The words hit harder than she intended. She never cared what I did, only what it earned her. "Listen," my mother said gently. "We are a family. Everyone has a role. Yours is to help. Haley's is to grow. Ours is to make decisions." "No," I said quietly. "Your role has been to take. Mine has been to give." Their faces tightened, but no one corrected me. For the first time in years, I felt the balance between us shift just a little, just enough for them to notice. I moved toward the kitchen table, needing distance from their voices, but my mother followed as if afraid I might slip away. She always sensed when control was shifting. "Lena," she said softly, "you know we only did what was best. Families make sacrifices." I pulled out a chair but didn't sit. I know all about sacrifices. Haley scoffed from behind her. "Oh, please. You act like paying rent is some heroic hardship." My father added, "You have always been good with money. You save, you budget, you never complain." I looked at him. I never complained because every time I tried, someone reminded me Haley needed more than I did. My mother sighed, irritated rather than regretful. "She is the younger child. Lena, younger children need time to grow." I folded my arms. "She is 24. Growing is not her problem." Haley stepped closer, chin lifted. "You think you are better because you work. Anyone can work. I am waiting for the right opportunity. And in the meantime," I said, "I am expected to cover everything." My father's brows tightened. "We trusted you with that responsibility. You have always been reliable." Reliable. The word had become a chain. I finally sat, letting the truth push through. 2 months ago, I opened a separate account, $15,000. I told you it was all the money I had saved. My mother's eyes widened, because it was. "No," I said, "because I needed to know how you would use it." Silence cracked through the room, sharp and sudden. My father shook his head slowly. "You tested us. I needed clarity." I answered, "I needed to see whether you valued me or just my bank account." Haley burst out laughing. "You think you are some kind of mastermind? You told us it was everything. Why lie unless you wanted this to happen?" "I wanted the truth," I said, "and you gave it to me." My mother's voice sharpened. "You should not have doubted us." "I doubted myself," I said. "I doubted whether I was being unfair or paranoid, so I gave you the chance to prove me wrong." My father's voice lowered. "And instead, you think we proved you right." I looked at all three of them, my mother defensive, my father conflicted. Haley unbothered and felt the answer settle without needing to be spoken. The test had already revealed everything. My mother pressed a hand to her forehead, as if exhausted by my honesty. "Lena, you make everything dramatic. You gave us that money to handle the household. We did exactly that." "No," I said. "You did that for the first 2 months. After that, things changed." Haley tossed her hair, unfazed. "If you are talking about the spa charges, that was self-care. I was stressed. And the $300 at the boutique I asked?" She shrugged. "I needed interview clothes. You should be happy I am trying." My father's voice tightened. "Your sister has been preparing for a real career. It is not cheap to look professional." I leaned forward. There were also cash withdrawals. $400 here, $500 there, and dinners. Expensive ones. My mother's expression flickered, just for a moment, before she recovered. "We work hard. Lena, sometimes we deserve something nice. You cannot expect us to live like monks." "It was not your money," I said. "It was a test, and you failed it long before the house." Haley threw up her hands. Failed. We did what any family would do. We used the money to make life better. I felt my pulse climbing. Better for who? For all of us, my mother snapped, then immediately softened her voice. We were planning for the future. A real home. Stability. Something you never provided. My father nodded slowly. You always said you wanted us to be comfortable. So we acted. You acted. I repeated, without asking me, without considering me, without thinking that maybe I needed something too. Haley laughed. You. What do you need? You live simply. You never go anywhere. You do not date. You barely spend money on yourself. You exist to keep things running. The words hit like a slap, not because they were new, but because they were finally said aloud. My mother reached for my arm. We never meant harm. We simply assumed you would understand. You always do. I pulled my arm back. Not anymore. Their faces shifted, small cracks forming in the confidence they carried earlier. They were beginning to realize that something in me had changed. My father exchanged a quick look with my mother, the kind couples share when they know something big is coming. My mother cleared her throat and began arranging her expression into something gentle, almost ceremonial. Lena, she said, we should tell you the rest. Sit down. I didn't move. Say it. Haley's smile returned, bright and childish. We found a place, a real one. 3 bedrooms, a big living room, a tiny yard. It is perfect for me. For you, I repeated. My father lifted his chin. The deposit was $12,500. It was an incredible opportunity in a tough market. I stared at him. You used that much without asking me. You said it was all your savings, my mother reminded me. What did you expect us to do? Let the chance slip away? Haley stepped forward, excitement vibrating in her voice. I finally have a home that fits the future I am building. You should be proud. You are unemployed, I said. She waved a hand at me. Only temporarily. The right job will come. I am manifesting it. My mother nodded as though Haley were discussing a spiritual awakening. Your sister has potential. She needs stability to achieve it. And so you decided, I said, to take the money I trusted you with and build stability for her. My father took a slow breath. We made the choice for the family. No, I said. You made the choice for Haley. Haley folded her arms. Same thing. My voice came out colder than I expected. Whose name is on the house silence? Thick and telling. Finally, Haley spoke. Her tone, breezy. Mine, of course. They said since I am the youngest, it makes the most sense. I let the words linger between us. Only yours. My father took a defensive step forward. It is not about ownership. It is about building a future for your sister. She needs direction. And I asked. My mother frowned as if I were being unreasonable. You are almost 30. Lena, you already have your life settled. Haley needs more time. She has had 24 years of time, I said, and I have paid for most of it. Haley gave a sharp laugh. You are being dramatic. The point is, I am moving. And you? Well, the house only has 3 bedrooms. My mother lifted her chin proudly. Your father, Haley, and I will move in together. It will be a fresh start. And me, I asked. My father's voice lowered, almost apologetic, but not enough. There is no room for you. And honestly, Lena, it is an opportunity. You should learn to stand on your own. I blinked at him. I already do. Haley sighed impatiently. Do not make this about you. You can find your own place, but you will still help with the mortgage. It is $1,650 a month. And of course, the usual bills. A laugh tore out of me before I could stop it. Not amusement, disbelief. My mother stiffened. Why are you laughing? Because, I said, you spent money that was not yours on a house that excludes me, and you still expect me to pay for it. Haley stepped closer, her expression smug. You always do what we need. You always help. This is no different. It is very different, I said. My father's eyes narrowed. Lena, whatever you are thinking I am thinking, I interrupted, that you just told me I was no longer needed. My mother's voice trembled with irritation. You are twisting our words. No, I said. You made yourself perfectly clear. Haley crossed her arms again. So what? Are you angry? You do not have anywhere else to go, and you do not have any money left. You should be grateful we are letting you stay involved at all. I met her gaze steadily, and for the first time in my life, she looked unsure. The silence thickened until it felt like the walls themselves were holding their breath. My mother stepped forward first, her voice unsteady. Lena, please be reasonable. We know this is a lot, but you will adjust. You always do. I let out a slow breath. Not this time. Haley scoffed. You are acting like a victim. You should thank us for thinking about the family's future. I faced her fully. You drained what you believed was every cent I had, and then you celebrated throwing me out. My father's jaw tightened. Stop exaggerating. We did not throw you out. We simply said there is no room. And I simply say, I answered, that you have no idea what you have just done. Haley stepped back slightly. What is that supposed to mean? I leaned against the table, calm in a way that made them all tense. You know that account, the one with $15,000? My mother's eyes narrowed. Yes. Your life savings. A small smile lifted the corner of my mouth. That was 2%. Not all. Haley blinked. 2% of what my real assets. I said, my savings, my investments, everything I have been building quietly for years. My father frowned. You said that was everything. I lied. I said plainly, I needed to see what you would do, and you showed me. My mother shook her head in disbelief. How much do you have enough? I said, enough that losing $15,000 was not even a scratch. Haley stared at me as though seeing a stranger. You are making this up. You cannot have that kind of money. I met her eyes. I am a regional operations manager. I oversee 8 stores across the state. I earn far more than you think. Her mouth dropped slightly. Since when? Since 3 years ago. I said. My father swallowed hard. You never told us. You never asked. I replied. You never cared who I was. Only what I could give. My mother's voice cracked. We would never have spent the money if we knew you were successful. And that, I said, is exactly why I did not tell you. Haley clutched her arms around herself. So what now? You think you are better than us because you have money? No, I said softly. I think I am finally done pretending I owe you my life. Their expressions shifted shock, fear, something like regret flickering behind all 3 faces. I straightened. There is something else. I bought a place. Uptown Charlotte. A 2-bedroom condo. I move in tomorrow. My mother gasped. You bought property? With what money? My own, I said. $250,000 down. The rest financed. Haley's voice rose, thin and panicked. So you are abandoning us. You abandoned me, I said. The moment you thought I had nothing left. My father whispered, We need you, Lena. I shook my head. You needed my money. You never needed me. For a moment, no one spoke. And in that stillness, I felt my freedom rise like air after years underwater. I spent the next morning packing the few things in my room that actually belonged to me. No one tried to stop me. No one even stepped into the hallway. They hovered in the living room like they were waiting for a version of me that no longer existed. When I carried my last box to my car, My father finally spoke. "Lena, if you leave, things will be harder for us." I closed the trunk. They already were. You just did not notice. My mother wrung her hands. "We made mistakes, but we can fix this. We can talk it through." "You did talk," I said. "You told me there was no room for me." Haley leaned against the doorway, arms crossed tightly. "So that is it. You move to your fancy condo and pretend we do not exist." I met her glare. For once, I am pretending I exist. Their silence followed me all the way to my new place. A week passed before anyone reached out. Then my cousin Jason called, his voice low. "Lena, something happened with the house." I sat up. What now? They could not secure the mortgage, not without your income. The builder canceled the contract. The earnest deposit is gone. All $12,500. I closed my eyes briefly. "And them, they moved into a one-room rental." He said, $500 a month. "Your parents took extra shifts. Haley is working as a cashier." I listened without giving him anything in return. Jason hesitated. "You are not helping them." "No," I said. "They are struggling." I breathed out slowly. "They created the struggle. I am done paying for it." Jason did not argue. He knew the history too well. After we hung up, I sat in the quiet of my condo, my place, my air. My life finally separated from the weight I had carried for so long, and for the first time in years, nothing pressed down on my chest. I was reviewing district reports when a sharp knock sounded at my door. My assistant, Christina Yu, stepped inside with an uneasy look I had never seen on her face. "Lena, your family is downstairs." I froze. "My family." She nodded quickly. "Your parents and your sister. They are at reception, and they are making a scene. Security has already tried to speak with them." A knot tightened in my stomach, not fear, not guilt, just something colder. "What are they saying, that they will not leave until you talk to them?" Christina lowered her voice. "Do you want me to call security again?" I stood. "No, I will handle it. But keep security close." The moment the elevator doors opened to the lobby, I saw them. My parents looked older, smaller. Haley looked like a ghost of herself, hair unkempt, supermarket uniform wrinkled, frustration trembling in her jaw. My mother gasped when she saw me. "Lena, thank God. We have been waiting." I stayed where I was. "You should not be here." My father stepped forward. "Please hear us out." Haley's voice cracked with urgency. "We need your help." I kept my tone steady. "You made it very clear you did not need me." My mother's hands shook as she reached out. "We were wrong. We thought you had nothing left. We did not know about your position, or your investments, or your condo. You were not supposed to." I said, "Because none of that changes what you did." She wiped at her eyes. "We already apologized." "No," I said. "You explained. You justified." "You never apologized." My father swallowed hard. "We regret everything. Every day." Haley stepped in, her voice trembling. "The room we are renting is horrible. It is tiny and loud and filthy. We cannot stay there, not like this." I kept my arms crossed. "I told you the consequences. You ignored them." Haley's eyes filled. "We lost the deposit. Lena, all $12,500, and we cannot catch up. Every month we fall behind more and more." My mother whispered, "Please, let us stay with you. Just for a little while. You have 2 bedrooms." And I asked. My father's voice wavered. "We would not bother you. We promise." "We simply need stability," Haley whispered. "You owe us that much." I felt something inside me go very, very quiet. "I owe you nothing." Haley's mouth dropped. You cannot mean that. My tone did not move. I do. My mother stepped closer, tears streaking her face. We are your family. Family, I said, does not drain what they think is all my savings. Family does not celebrate kicking me out. Family does not only show remorse when they learn I am not broke. My father's voice cracked. We were desperate, and I was convenient. I replied. My mother reached for my hand, and I pulled away. Haley's tone shifted into anger. You are being cruel. No, I said calmly. Cruel was using me until you thought I had nothing left. Cruel was laughing when you believed I was ruined. My father suddenly dropped to a chair in the lobby, head in his hands. We cannot survive like this. You will, I said. You survived before I paid the rent. You survived before I worked. You survived before I existed. Haley's eyes flashed. What do you want from us? We apologized. We begged. I want you, I said, to understand that I am done. My mother reached for me again. Lena, please, just let us live with you. We have nowhere else. We will clean, we will cook, anything. No, I said again. And this time, there was no anger, no grief, only finality. I looked toward the security officers watching from a distance. Escort them out, I said. My mother sobbed. My father pleaded. Haley screamed my name as she was pulled toward the door, her voice breaking, raw and furious. I turned away before they reached the exit. Christina met me halfway, her expression unsure. You okay? She whispered. I nodded once. Yes. But inside, the truth was sharper. Something had ended, and something had begun. I returned to my office after security escorted them out, closing the door behind me with a soft click. The quiet hit me first, solid, steady, unshakable. For a moment, I stood there, hands on the edge of my desk, breathing in the air that belonged only to me. Christina knocked lightly. Do you want me to cancel your next meeting? No, I said. I am fine. She hesitated. If you need anything, I know. I replied, thank you. When she left, the silence settled again, this time like a blanket instead of a weight. Later that evening, I sat in my condo, my space, my walls, my name on every document. My phone buzzed once with an unknown number. I let it ring until it stopped. No voicemail, no second call, just the faint hum of an ending. I made tea, sat by the window, and looked out at the city lights spreading across Charlotte. They felt distant and close all at once, like they had been waiting for me to finally claim a life that was mine. For years, I had given everything time, money, energy, identity because I believed family meant sacrifice. But today proved something else. Family is supposed to be chosen every day, not used until empty. I set the tea aside and leaned back, letting the truth settle inside me. They saw me as a tool. I see myself now, and I am not returning to the person they depended on. I know they will keep calling, trying, insisting, but I will not answer. I gave them more than enough. I am giving myself the rest. If you have been listening to my story this far, stay with me. There are choices we make that change everything, the quiet ones, the painful ones, the ones we never expect ourselves to take. I am learning to choose differently now, and this time, I am choosing me.